Welcome to Tail Talk Grooming Chronicles with Hound Therapy, the podcast where we talk all things pet grooming, daycare, academy, and more. Hosted by Shannon and Tanya of Hound Therapy, serving pet owners across North Texas. We're here to share expert tips, hilarious pet stories, and the inside scoop on keeping your furry friends happy and healthy. Our motto, humanity over vanity. And don't worry, we don't bite. Let's get started. Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Choosing between salon and mobile grooming can feel overwhelming, especially when safety, stress, and cost all play a role. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Sophia Yvette, co-host and producer, back in the studio with Shannon and Tanya, professional groomers at Hound Therapy. Hi, ladies. It is so lovely to be back with you both today. Now, before we jump in, today's question is, how should parents compare salon grooming versus mobile grooming when it comes to safety, stress, and costs?
That's a great question. They're trade-offs. They're trade-offs for both, kind of, I think.
There's pros and cons to both.
Yeah.
Per animal.
So in your grooming experience, at a mobile is they come to you, right? So that's great. You don't get necessarily somebody who is going to be well-versed with doing hard to handle dogs or larger dogs. And you only have one person. So in a salon setting like ours, we have multiple groomers here. But you can have a stress environment. So some dogs don't, they get a little stressed out if they
They
have
can't
to get in
handle the noise, things like that.
or get in the car. It may start from just getting in the car. So if you have, a dog that it's both are great. Depending on who you get, and that's the same with a brick and mortar salon as well, right? As long as you have good groomers and you're vetted, I think that's a good start. But the pro for a mobile, and we don't have mobile, so I don't want to drive. They can do less dogs per day because they do have traffic to deal with. They've got gas, they've got, their car and the stress of driving in traffic. And to me, that just sounds awful. But if, you're home and you work from home, or if you have a dog that, doesn't like to leave the house, it's a great option. If you have a large dog, they don't have the space that we have. That you put yourself in the back of a box van and then try to blow out a husky or a German Shepherd that's,
Or
100.
Pyrenees.
Yeah, 100, 150 pounds. And it's hard to clean. Hair gets everywhere. So we have a little bit of an extra padded buffing for us because we have more people and we have the space to be able to do multiple dogs. And we like to think that we give that experience to other dogs that do like to come out. The other pro for a grooming salon is that if your dog works really well with others, a mobile may be great. But if you need two people to hold your dog or somebody to help hold it up, most mobile groomers only have one person. So again, not bad. It's not to say that one person can't handle an aggressive dog, or if an owner is really good. I know a lot of mobile groomers that are able to really pivot and move and adjust their situation for whatever dog comes in. And that's great. That said, we have multiple people here. So for us, it's not really better or worse. Cost effective, I think that they charge considerably more, but it's a concierge service where they're coming to you and they're doing less dogs per day. And they have a lot of costs overhead as well. Maybe not as many overhead costs as, say, a salon like us, but we do have multiple employees and, we've got multiple dogs. So everything is kind of offset one way or the other.
Now, Shannon, one question for you. Are there certain breeds, ages, or temperaments that you feel benefit more from one option over the other?
100%. I think that an aggressive dog that needs two people, for us it's because we have more people. I think is a better option. That larger dogs for us, I think it's a better option to go to a brick and mortar, just because you're going to get you're going to get more bang for your buck. We're able to do a little quicker, a little faster. We're not having to do everything exactly straight through. So our cost wise and effectiveness is going to be a lot better than, say, doing a husky from start to finish, which is what mobile has to do. Um, so mobile grooming would be great for a smaller doodle or somebody who is on a very, very regular schedule. I know most of my mobile grooming friends that I have, they like to, set something up every day so that they have the same, zip codes or area codes that they're covering, so that they are as efficient as possible. So somebody who's on a tight schedule that, doesn't have time to travel or has a dog that doesn't like the vehicle, I think those are great for mobile.
Yeah.
I think anybody else who needs some activity or your dog needs some socialization or is very excitable, or may not need, multiple people to hold or handle. I would say that, we're definitely a brick and mortar with somebody who has more people is definitely more of a better choice.
Now, let's talk about when it comes to safety. What are the biggest differences between a controlled salon setup and a mobile grooming van?
So I love that question. And I'm going to say, I really want to put safety. The mobile groomers they're usually very safe.
Yes.
Home groomers are not safe. So do not misunderstand a home groomer from a mobile groomer. If they come into your house to groom your dog, that is a home groomer. That is somebody who has got no overhead except their car that they showed up in. They're not paying for a generator, electricity. They're not paying for anything. So that is a huge disservice to everybody that's in this industry, and it is not safe at all. A mobile groomer has something invested in their business and their rapport with you and your dog. And the hope there is that they also have a good grooming technique. Safety wise, that really becomes the person that
Yeah,
you're dealing with and your dog.
that's the individual groomer themselves.
And hopefully, if they have something that they cannot handle, that
They will pass that to someone.
and say, "Hey, look, you need to go to a vet, or you need to go to a salon that's bigger that can handle this kind of things because we just don't have the time to make it cost effective, or I'm afraid of your dog." So that is just good communication. Safety wise, they have everything in that van that we have here. It's just micro. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
much
just on a
smaller.
smaller scale.
So they should have every advantage that we have, other than the space.
And amount of people.
Now, last question for you today. How do cost differences typically break down between salon and mobile grooming, and what should pet parents understand about those price gaps?
Well, we charge again, we're a high-end grooming shop. So I feel like we're not the most expensive, but we're not the cheapest either. You're paying for experience, and you're paying for we still have a very quick, fast turnaround. And we have a lot of experience in this building. We have a lot to offer education wise. We like to spend a lot of time with our clients, with our dogs, and with each other. So that for us, cost wise, means that we have to pass on our shampoos, our overhead, our insurance, our all of these things that everybody else has to pay on your home. We have to do upkeep, our drains, our tubs. Mobile is they're charging for the trip. They're charging for gas. So they're usually about anywhere from $50 to $100 more than
Yeah.
going into a brick and mortar. And a lot of that is it's the concierge service that, it's we're coming to you.
And
We're working around your
and
schedule.
they can't do as many dogs as a full staffed salon can do per day. So you have to make kind of what you can.
They still have a fairly big overhead. I mean,
Yeah.
they have car insurance. They have the vans are not cheap. If you buy them brand new, they start at around $106 for a smaller van. So $106,000 that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
You got to pay that
At
off.
least.
With interest, you've got generators, you've got, they have to fill their water tank, plus they've got to wash all their towels. They have everything that we have in here. So
Yeah.
they still have an overhead. That said, we have continuous rent because we don't own our building. They can eventually own theirs. I mean, there's a pro and con for everything, but their service is typically the fact that they do less dogs per day than we do, and that they have a concierge service where they're coming straight to you. And to be clear, if we are doing your dog in a very quick 1 hour or less turnaround, we charge for that. We charge for our, concierge, or if we call it a rush fee here, or a handling fee. If it takes,
Mhm.
2 people, or if your dog is just elderly and we need to do it, we have to drop everything else we're doing just to handle your dog. That's how it works. Nobody gets extra special attention, just because. Now, you know, that's something that they should be charging for. So that's kind of why mobile is usually more, and people will pay
Yeah.
for that if they're inconvenienced with time. In other words, if they don't have it, and they're able to stay on a maintaining schedule.
Wow. Well, thank you both for breaking that down so clearly. We appreciate your insight and we'll see everyone next time.
That's a wrap for this episode of Tail Talk with Hound Therapy. Ready to book your pet's next groom, daycare stay, or grooming academy tour? Call us at 469-367-0009. That's 469-367-0009 to schedule an appointment. Or visit us online at www.houndtherapy.com. Serving North Texas with expert pet care. Until next time, keep those tails wagging.